Imagine your house absolutely burns to the ground. You are standing there on the front lawn, crying over the ruins of everything you love. And the arsonist, the person who literally lit the match, walks up to you completely unbothered, holds up a bag of graham crackers and says, "Hey, want to toast some marshmallows with me over the embers?"
I mean, it is absolute clinical insanity, and honestly, it is the only way to describe the wreckage of what we just watched on television.
Babes, welcome back. We love you. We see you. And somehow it's only in the middle of the week, but it honestly feels like we've been gone for a solid month.
A month. I feel like I have aged a decade in the span of 4 days between the travel, the reality TV drama, and just, being a functioning human being in society. I am completely depleted.
Well, the Snark Squad knows we do not suffer without hydration, which is why we have espresso martinis on deck right now.
Oh, absolutely mandatory.
Right. Because surviving travel and then immediately returning to work absolutely deserves a celebration. We are in full recovery mode tonight, and we are not apologizing for it. Cheers, babe.
Cheers. And honestly, the espresso martini is the only thing keeping my eyes open right now because the travel home was a psychological thriller.
Oh my gosh. Let's talk about the airport chaos.
Huh.
Why does stepping into an airport instantly strip people of all their basic societal manners?
It's a social experiment. It has to be.
It is controlled chaos and, honestly, mostly uncontrolled. My flight was delayed, obviously, because the universe just loves to test my optimism.
The delay is just the appetizer, honestly. The main course is the security line.
Ugh, don't even get me started.
I am convinced that the TSA checkpoint is a portal to another dimension where time moves backward and everyone suddenly forgets that laptops have to come out of bags. It's 2026. How are we still confused by the bins?
And the carry-on life? I'm so over living out of a carry-on. I packed 3 pairs of shoes for a weekend trip, wore exactly one, and somehow still couldn't fit everything back into my suitcase.
Because you always overpack.
I do. I was literally sitting on my luggage in the terminal trying to zip it while a family of 5 just, stared at me.
But the absolute worst part, the true villain of the airport experience, are the people who stand up the millisecond on the tortilley second. The plane touches the tarmac.
Oh my God,
The
yes.
seatbelt sign hasn't even dinged. The plane is still actively taxiing. Where are you going? You are trapped in a metal tube, sir. Please sit down.
They stand up all hunched over under the overhead bins like gremlins, just breathing on your neck. It gives me full body hives. But you know what's an even bigger crime than the gremlins?
What?
The food prices.
Oh, it is legal robbery. It should be investigated by the federal government.
I am not exaggerating. I stared at a bottle of water for 5 minutes having an internal debate. It was $9.
For water.
9 American dollars for water. And of course I bought it because I was parched and weak.
It's the sheer audacity of the pricing. You're paying $22 for a turkey sandwich that tastes like slightly damp cardboard, and the cashier acts like they are doing you a massive favor.
And the crazy thing is you eat it and you're like, wow, this is amazing.
But it's not amazing. You are just starving and trapped in a hostage situation where the only currency is your absolute desperation.
Exactly. It's a hostage economy.
Right.
Okay, before we completely spiral into an airport rage blackout, we need to give the Snark Squad their messy love horoscopes for the rest of the week.
We have to, because if we are struggling, the stars are definitely causing some chaos out there.
The stars are absolutely unhinged this week. You want to take the fire signs?
Oh, gladly. Let's start with the fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Your messy love horoscope is that you're going to text your toxic ex at 2 in the morning because you, quote, saw a dog that looked like theirs.
No.
Yes. Don't do it. Put the phone down. If the dog is innocent, your ex is still a menace.
I love that. Okay, earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Listen to me. Your messy love horoscope is that you are going to pick an absolute catastrophic fight with your partner this week over something completely irrelevant.
Yeah, well.
Like how they load the dishwasher. You can do it just so you can feel a tiny spark of adrenaline. Go touch some grass, buy a candle, leave them alone.
They need to hear that. All right, water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Your messy love horoscope is that you are going to romantically idealize someone you made eye contact with at a coffee shop for 3 seconds.
Oh, I've done that.
You're going to mentally plan your entire wedding to them and then get genuinely devastated when you see them walk out to a minivan with a car seat in the back. Stop projecting, babes.
It's so real it hurts. And finally, air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Your messy love horoscope is that you're going to ghost someone who is actually perfectly nice and stable
Right.
simply because they used the wrong there in a text message.
I mean, that's valid.
No, you need to lower your grammatical standards and let yourself be loved.
Honestly, grammar is a valid deal breaker, but I'll allow it for the sake of the horoscopes.
Okay, speaking of being loved and being completely stressed out, we have to talk about the highs and lows of our upcoming work week.
Right, because we actually have day jobs.
We do.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, we are not just reality TV connoisseurs. We are literally dentists. We're out here fixing teeth by day and dissecting reality TV by night.
Which is a chaotic duality, I admit, but it's real life.
So what are you looking forward to this week at your clinic?
I am actually looking forward to a massive smile makeover I have scheduled for Thursday. It's a full set of veneers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's highly technical, it's satisfying, and it's quiet. The patient can't talk to me while I work. It's my absolute happy place.
See, that's beautiful. I am looking forward to my new hygienist starting. I am so optimistic she's going to bring good energy to the office.
Let's hope so. What's the biggest challenge?
I have a patient coming in tomorrow who is notorious for lying about flossing. Like, sir, your gums are bleeding just from me looking at them. Do not tell me you floss twice a day. It is the real-world equivalent of gaslighting.
Oh, the dental gaslighting is so real. My biggest challenge is just keeping my patients with the scheduling software we use. It's from 1998, and it crashes every time I look at it wrong.
Okay, what is one goal for the week and one thing you are already procrastinating?
My goal is to leave the clinic by 5:30 every single day. No late charts, no squeezing in emergencies that aren't actual emergencies. Boundaries, babe.
I love boundaries.
And the thing I'm procrastinating, ordering new supplies. The catalog is massive, it's boring, and I just want the dental fairies to do it for me.
So fair. My goal is to drink my $9 airport water's worth of hydration every single day. Gallon a day. Let's go.
Good luck with that.
Thanks. But I am absolutely procrastinating doing my continuing education credits.
Yeah.
I'm just pretending they don't exist until the deadline is literally breathing down my neck.
Typical.
Typical but true. But right now, tonight is all about recovery mode. I have my eye mask ready in the fridge. I have a 7-step skincare routine waiting for me that is going to aggressively hydrate away the airplane air.
A full cellular reset. That is the goal.
Yes, I am manifesting an early bedtime, and I am manifesting that we will wake up tomorrow feeling like completely new people. But babes, enough about our travel recovery. It's time to talk about this finale because we have thoughts.
So many thoughts.
We need to break down episode 9 of In the City, titled Cider and Squabbles. And let me just say, what a wildly accurate title for a weekend of forced autumnal cheer that was essentially just a thin mask over some incredibly deep-seated resentments.
A weekend trip to Connecticut. It is the classic reality TV crucible. You trap a group of highly volatile, deeply insecure people in a rental house, ply them with alcohol, and wait for the psychological warfare to begin, and my God, did they deliver.
They delivered on a silver platter. If you've been scrolling through the fan threads online or reading the recap articles, you know the internet is absolutely burning down over this.
It's everywhere.
And we have to start with the most explosive, ridiculous fight of the first half of the episode, the mom card clash.
It is the conflict that launched 1,000 think pieces. And it all started over the most sacred, historically volatile piece of real estate in any reality TV vacation.
The primary suite.
Always the primary suite.
It's so predictable, yet it hits every single time. Okay, let me set the scene for you guys.
Yeah.
The cast rolls up to this massive vacation rental in Connecticut for Friendsgiving.
Beautiful house, by the way.
Gorgeous. But before the bags even hit the floor, Lindsay and Georgina sprint to the primary suite and claim it. Their justification. They loudly announce that they are two moms who are away from their babies for the very first time, so they fundamentally deserve the biggest, most luxurious room in the house.
It was a fascinating power play. It was an immediate assertion of hierarchy based entirely on their reproductive status.
Exactly. And Whitney, bless her heart, immediately challenges this. Whitney accuses Lindsay of playing the, quote, single mom card to get what she wants.
Which is dangerous territory.
So dangerous. And then Whitney makes a fatal error. She goes a step further and says that since Lindsay and Georgina both have nannies at home, they really shouldn't be complaining about being exhausted or using their motherhood as currency to secure premium real estate.
Strategically speaking, this was a catastrophic hill for Whitney to choose to die on.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
And it escalated so fast. They are literally on their way to an apple-picking excursion.
Oh, wait, I have to bring this up. One of the recap articles hilariously pointed out that they had to drive 50 minutes across the valley to a strip mall in Southington instead of staying in scenic Washington, Connecticut.
Yes, I saw that. Like, the producers really made them suffer in a hot van just to force the conflict.
Confined spaces breed contempt. It's reality TV production 101.
So they're at the fire pit later, and Georgina fiercely defends Lindsay. She snaps at Whitney and Whitney's boyfriend, Kenny, and it eventually escalates it to the highest, most absurd degree possible. She looks at this couple and accuses them of hating women and hating moms.
Which is a massive Olympic-level leap in logic. But we really need to look at the underlying mechanics of why this fight got so completely out of hand.
Well, I want to push back on Lindsay's specific defense here, because the semantics she uses in the kitchen later are just wild to me.
Oh, the kitchen scene.
She confronts Whitney and says, and I'm pulling this straight from the blogs, "I didn't say I needed the room, I just took it because I'm a mom. I can play the mom card whenever I like, but what you can't do is call it a card."
It is a breathtaking contradiction.
It's completely contradictory. Let me break it down like this. It is exactly like you being at a party, taking the very last slice of pizza, announcing to the entire room, "Hey, I am eating this because I'm hungry."
Right.
And then getting absolutely furious and storming off when someone says, "Oh, you're playing the hungry card." Is there actually a functional difference here, or is Lindsay just playing aggressive, defensive word games to avoid accountability for just wanting the best room?
Oh, she is absolutely playing word games. She is a master of deflection.
Right.
But what's fascinating here is why she is allowed to win those word games within the context of the group dynamics.
Totally.
One of the critics made a brilliant point about the reality TV mistake that Whitney made. In the ecosystem of reality television, and honestly, in modern society at large, attacking motherhood is a guaranteed unwinnable battle. You just don't do it.
It's the third rail.
Exactly. The article quoted that comedian Liza Traeger, who joked, "Have you ever told a mom you're tired? Get a helmet. They're pissed at you."
It's so true. It is an unwinnable argument. Whitney walked right into a trap.
She really did, because the thing is, Whitney actually had a highly valid underlying point. Her core point was that Lindsay always gets what she wants.
Always.
Lindsay is loud, she is demanding, she is relentless, and everyone in that cast simply bows down and gives her what she wants to avoid her wrath. That is a solid, observable, totally fair critique of Lindsay's behavior over the entire season.
Right. It's about entitlement, not motherhood.
Exactly. But that valid point was entirely eclipsed, totally vaporized, the literal second Whitney brought nannies and mom cards into the equation.
She handed Lindsay the perfect shield. It was
Right.
like giving Captain America his shield and then being surprised when he blocks your punch.
Precisely. By attacking the method Lindsay used, her motherhood, rather than the entitlement Lindsay displayed, Whitney lost the moral high ground instantly.
Totally.
No one is going to side with the person who appears to be criticizing a single mother's exhaustion. It just looks cruel on camera. Georgina immediately saw that vulnerability, seized on it, and made the leap to, "You guys hate women." It's a masterclass in deflection by Lindsay and Georgina, but it was enabled entirely by Whitney's terrible choice of words.
And the fans caught on to this dynamic immediately. The reaction online was ruthlessly divided, which is why I love this community. They do not hold back.
They never do.
On one hand, you have fans who are just stunned by Whitney's total lack of foresight. I saw a comment on one of the boards where a user noted that Whitney was, quote, "significantly dumber than I thought if she believed those comments would play well on television."
Ouch.
Someone else straight up called her an off-the-turnip truck dunce. They saw her as totally naive to the unwritten rules of television conflict.
But there was a completely opposite reaction as well, which is equally valid.
Oh, absolutely. The other half of the internet felt Lindsay absolutely weaponized her motherhood to get her way, and they brought receipts.
They always have receipts.
They pointed out the context from earlier in the season. Lindsay and her camp allegedly ruined Yvonne and Nick's wedding dinner with their drama. So the generous, kind, socially appropriate thing to do at Friendsgiving would have been for Lindsay to offer the primary suite to the newlyweds as a peace offering.
Which would have been a great PR move for her.
It would have been brilliant. Instead, Lindsay claimed it for herself. And as one fan pointed out, Lindsay might not have familial help nearby, but if she has the financial resources to swing a nanny, she has a distinct advantage over single moms who truly have zero support system.
Right.
The fans saw right through the semantic gymnastics. They know she just wanted the good bathroom.
And this raises a really important sociological point about how identity is used in group dynamics on these shows.
I love when you get analytical. Go on.
The mom card isn't just about a room with a king-size bed and a soaking tub. It's an assertion of hierarchy. Lindsay is essentially standing there saying, my life stage and my struggles are fundamentally more important than your life stage and your struggles.
Right. It's a ranking system.
And because of societal norms, the group is somewhat forced to accept that premise, even if they deeply resent it. It breeds silent resentment. And that silent resentment is exactly what bubbled up and exploded out of Whitney.
It's so true. It's all about the hierarchy of suffering. But speaking of resentment bubbling up and exploding, we have to transition from the women's fiery semantic dispute inside the house to the men's deeply emotional confrontation, which was happening outside at the exact same time.
The parallel conflicts. It's structural perfection for an editor.
It really is. So while the women are inside debating the sociological implications of nannies and primary suites, Kenny pulls his supposed best friend Gavin aside by the fire pit.
The infamous fire pit.
Kenny is fed up. He is having a full meltdown. He confronts Gavin about being a pot stirrer in the group, and Kenny starts listing his grievances, accusing Gavin of taking these very public jabs at him. The specific examples Kenny gives, this is where I absolutely lost my mind laughing, are that Gavin called him a fuckboy and claimed that Kenny hates dogs.
Which is a very striking accusation.
Babes, I have to ask you to step back with me for a second and just look at the sheer, unadulterated absurdity of the insults being hurled in this single episode. Think about it.
I'm thinking.
In the kitchen, Whitney is being accused of hating moms. Outside by the fire, Kenny is furious because he was accused of hating dogs. Are we losing our minds here? Aren't these just hilariously blown out of proportion, completely exaggerated reality TV accusations?
They are totally absurd, but if we connect this to the bigger picture of how conflict is generated on these shows, the absurdity is exactly the point.
What do you mean?
The accusations aren't meant to be literal truths. Nobody actually thinks Kenny hates dogs. These are character assassinations. Accusing someone of hating dogs or hating mothers is a quick, shorthand way of signaling to the audience, hey, this person lacks basic empathy, they are fundamentally flawed.
Wow, yes. It's character assassination by way of universal beloveds. Everyone loves moms and dogs. If you hate them, you are a monster.
Exactly. It paints them as Disney villains. But let's look closer at Gavin's specific role within this cast ecosystem, because it explains exactly why he throws these ridiculous jabs.
He's so messy.
He is. The fans have officially dubbed Gavin Team Chaos and the messiest man on the show. And what's fascinating is that they don't say this with hatred. They revere him for it. They recognize him as the necessary agitator.
Oh, every reality show needs a Gavin. If everyone is polite, the show gets canceled.
They absolutely do. He is the catalyst. Without Gavin poking and prodding and spreading little rumors, the underlying tensions in that group might never surface. He forces the conflict into the light. But there is a really intriguing piece of missing media regarding this specific fight between Kenny and Gavin that one of the entertainment sites brought to light, and it changes everything.
Oh, the missing trailer scene. This drove me insane. I rewound the episode 3 times looking for it.
Right. So for the Snark Squad who missed it, in the promotional trailer for the season finale that aired weeks ago, there was a highly dramatic scene where Kenny is screaming at Gavin by the fire pit, calling him the Bernie Madoff of hospitality.
Which is an incredible, devastating insult, by the way.
It's poetry.
Wait, let me break this down. Calling him the Bernie Madoff of hospitality implies that Gavin is running some sort of social Ponzi scheme. Like he is borrowing loyalty from one friend to pay off another, and the whole thing is just a massive fraud. It's so deep.
It implies massive systemic deception within their professional and social circle. It's a huge accusation. But that scene, that line, completely cut from the actual episode. It vanished into the ether.
So why? Why would the producers leave such a juicy, intelligent, aggressive line on the cutting room floor? I want your analytical take on this.
It's a fascinating editorial choice, and it's all about narrative smoothing.
Narrative smoothing.
Yeah. If the producers had left in Kenny accusing Gavin of being a Bernie Madoff-level fraud, it would have been incredibly difficult for the audience to buy into the resolution of that scene. Because what happens next? These two grown men have a tearful, highly emotional standoff, followed by a deep, sobbing bro hug where they reaffirm that they are brothers and they love each other.
Ah, I see it. If the insult was too severe, the reconciliation wouldn't feel earned. It would feel totally fake and staged.
Exactly. If you call someone a fraudulent sociopath, you don't hug them 5 minutes later. By editing out the Madoff comment and reducing Gavin's crimes to calling Kenny a fuckboy who hates dogs, the stakes are instantly lowered to the level of petty, drunk friendship squabbles.
That makes total sense.
It allows the tears and the eventual hug to feel genuine, vulnerable, and earned to the viewer. They prioritize the emotional payoff over the explosive insult. It's actually brilliant producing.
That makes so much sense.
Uh-huh.
It protected Gavin's likability, and it protected the authenticity of their friendship for the audience. And honestly, we needed that moment of emotional resolution because the rest of the episode takes a very dark, very heavy turn.
It really does.
We have to shift our focus now from these petty weekend squabbles to the real-life heartbreak that absolutely anchors this finale. I'm talking, of course, about the demise of Kyle and Amanda.
The emotional core of the episode, without a doubt. It was hard to watch.
It was so heavy. Like, I watched this show to escape, not to be depressed. After a complete breakdown at the dinner table, where Amanda actually physically flees the room in tears, Kyle sits there and formally apologizes to Amanda for his role in their marital issue.
He looks destroyed.
He admits he self-sabotaged. And it leads to this incredibly bleak cinematic visual of them packing their bags in silence and leaving the Connecticut house in separate cars, driving back to the city in the dark.
And then the show makes a very unusual structural choice. We don't just stay in that timeline.
Yes. The time jumps. The show literally fast-forwards past the end of standard filming. We get these stark black title cards on the screen.
Very dramatic.
The first one says January 2026, which is when Kyle and Amanda released their joint public statement confirming their split. And then it jumps again to April 2026, dropping us right into a post-split conversation that they clearly agreed to film just for the finale.
This is a crucial break in the fourth wall. The producers are acknowledging that the audience's real-time knowledge of the tabloids and Instagram has outpaced the filming schedule. They can't pretend the divorce didn't happen, so they have to aggressively catch the narrative up to reality.
And the reality we are catching up to is what the entire internet has dubbed Scamanda.
Scamanda. I love the internet.
So let's unpack this tense April conversation. Kyle is sitting across from his estranged wife, and he straight up confronts her. He accuses her of point-blank lying to his face regarding her new relationship with their co-star, West Wilson. Kyle is furious, saying she left him for a guy who rages 3 times harder than he does.
And Amanda's defense is quite specific and honestly a little weak. She claims she didn't leave Kyle for West, but rather that she was just scared and leaning on West for support.
Which brings us to arguably the most surreal, tone-deaf olive branch in the history of reality television. Like I said at the start of the show with the arsonist analogy, this is where my brain simply short-circuited.
It was baffling.
Amanda is sitting there, complaining to Kyle, her grieving ex-husband, about how hard her life is right now. She tells him she is literally terrified to leave her apartment because of the intense fan backlash she is facing over the Wes Wilson situation.
The complete lack of self-awareness is staggering.
Right. And then, in the very next breath, she casually suggests that they should all go on a double date. She literally proposes that she and West should get dinner with Kyle and Kyle's rumored new fling, Salley Carson.
Unbelievable.
I was screaming at my television. You burn his life down and you invite him to roast marshmallows with your new boyfriend. How on earth did she think a double date with a guy she allegedly left her husband for was a comforting suggestion?
If we look at the psychology behind it, it speaks to Amanda's deep, desperate desire for normalization. She is in the middle of a massive public relations hurricane. She is getting destroyed in the comments section.
Obviously destroyed.
By suggesting a double date, she is attempting to forcibly write a narrative where everyone is fine, everyone is mature, and the situation is completely normal.
It's totally self-serving.
100%. Because if Kyle agrees to the double date, it absolves her of the guilt and the public shame. She can say, see, Kyle is fine with it. We are all friends. It's not a peace offering to Kyle. It's a PR lifeline she's throwing to herself to stop the pleading.
And the fans saw right through it. The backlash against Amanda was overwhelming. I'm looking at the live thread comments, and they are brutal. Fans are calling her a wet blanket who drained the energy from the entire season.
I saw that.
One user called her performance a masterclass in gaslighting, pointing out that she's actively trying to make people hate Kyle, while she is the one who secretly moved on with their co-star. Another user astutely noted that Amanda fled the dinner table in Connecticut the exact second she sensed she was losing ground in the argument. It was tactical fleeing.
Tactical fleeing is a great term for it. And yet, within this intense wave of negative public sentiment, there is a fascinating economic irony that Amanda herself points out during that April sit-down.
The lover boy boom. Babes, this is the craziest part of the whole episode. Kyle's beverage company, Loverboy, which earlier in the season was depicted as being on the absolute brink of financial ruin, is suddenly experiencing a massive, unprecedented spike in sales.
It's wild.
And Amanda looks at Kyle and essentially says, "You're welcome. The only reason your company is thriving is because the fans hate me so much and they feel sorry for you."
It's a remarkable, bitter admission. She recognizes that the public vitriol directed at her is directly translating into capital for her ex-husband. One of the video recaps pointed out how wild this dynamic is.
What did they say?
Well, Kyle tries to equate the sales spike to him opening up on camera about his business struggles, but Amanda shuts that down immediately.
No.
She claims the financial success is entirely a byproduct of her personal failure and the ensuing scandal.
It's such a dark, cynical view of consumer behavior. But let's be real, she's probably not wrong. We're living in an era of parasocial economics. The fans are literally buying the drinks as a form of emotional support for Kyle, like a GoFundMe, and as an active financial boycott of Amanda. It's fascinating.
Parasocial economics. I'm obsessed with that concept. Let's actually pause and look at how that works. Public hatred for a spouse translates into a boycott that paradoxically functions as a stimulus package for the other spouse.
It's mind-blowing.
It highlights the unique, terrifying peril of intertwining your marriage, your brand, and your reality television career. When the marriage collapses, the shockwaves don't just hit your personal life, they hit every single facet of your existence, right down to your quarterly profit margin.
It really is a heavy, dark place to leave that couple. I honestly felt drained watching it. But the producers clearly knew they couldn't end the season on such a bleak, depressing note. We needed a palate cleanser. And they delivered one with a surprisingly wholesome montage of life updates that closed out the episode.
Yes, the classic transition from the darkness of a highly publicized divorce to the light of new life. It's a fundamental storytelling arc. Death and rebirth. They needed to remind us that life goes on.
And when we say new life, we mean a literal baby boom hitting this cast. It's unprecedented for a show that started out just being about partying.
Seriously.
The final updates reveal that Yvonne and Nick are expecting a baby boy. Lexi and Andrea, who are happily married, announced they are expecting a baby girl. And most notably, we get an update on Danielle and her boyfriend, Ewan. They welcomed a baby boy named Aiden, but he was born prematurely and is currently in the NICU.
Which is an incredibly stressful, terrifying, real-world situation for any parent to face.
Absolutely. It puts everything into perspective. And this is where the genius of the episode's earlier conflict resolution really shines. If we connect Danielle's real-world struggle back to that Friendsgiving trip, it highlights just how crucial it was that she and Lindsay finally mended their long-standing feud.
Oh, that's a great connection.
We saw Lindsay aggressively defending her mom card earlier, but she also took the time that weekend to sit down with Danielle and genuinely make peace. That resolution pays off beautifully in hindsight, knowing that Danielle is going to desperately need her friend's support through this incredibly difficult NICU journey.
It completely reframes the petty drama. When you realize what Danielle's about to go through with a premature infant, the argument over who got the primary bedroom with the soaking tub seems infinitely smaller, almost embarrassing. The mending of the friendship becomes the most important, resonant thing that happened that entire weekend.
Exactly. It grounds the show in actual human reality. But don't worry, the updates weren't all heavy real-world problems. We got some wildly entertaining off-camera updates as well.
Thank God.
For instance, Kenny and Whitney, who spent the entire episode arguing with Georgina about single mom cards, somehow accidentally got married by a shaman in Peru during a Pachamama ceremony.
An accidental marriage by a shaman. Only in the delusion of reality television does someone accidentally get married.
Right. Kenny was on screen like, "The shaman blew some smoke, blew a whistle, and suddenly told me to kiss my wife." He claims he is currently researching if it's legally binding in the United States, but he says he's going to marry her anyway. It is so chaotic, and I love it.
It's very them.
Meanwhile, Georgina is officially launching a longevity-based skincare line, because of course she is. And then the final piece of tea, one of the articles confirmed that Lindsay and Amanda haven't spoken a single word to each other since the reunion was filmed back in June.
The battle lines are firmly drawn, which sets up an incredibly fractured dynamic for the future. And this brings us to a major structural concern that is dominating the fan discourse right now.
The parenting problem.
Precisely. If you look at the fan threads and the critical reviews, there is a loud, growing consensus. The fans are looking at this cast, 3 pregnant women, several settled married couples, a guy who accidentally got married in Peru, and they are asking a very valid question. Is the show getting too domestic?
They want the mess. I saw comments saying things like, I don't care to see mom life on a show about youngish people living in NYC. If I want to watch the trials of parenthood, I'll find 30-something on streaming.
Harsh, but fair.
The audience signed up for the chaotic energy of a summer share house transposed to the city, not a documentary about sleep training, breast pumps, and diaper genies.
This raises an existential question for the production company. Reality television, particularly this subgenre, is fundamentally fueled by friction. It requires bad decisions, blurred boundaries, heavy drinking, and single people navigating complicated dating pools.
Yes.
When a cast ages into a settled domestic phase of life, the friction naturally decreases. They go to bed early. They prioritize their children over the drama. They protect their peace, which is great for them, but terrible for television.
Amanda literally went to sleep while Kyle was DJing the after party in the living room. That is the perfect metaphor for the current state of the show. They are tired.
It is the ultimate metaphor. And the fans are loudly suggesting that if there is a season 2, there needs to be a massive cast shakeup.
Who do they want to cut?
The prevailing theory online is that the show needs to keep the chaotic, single cast members, like Lindsay, Georgina, and our resident pot stirrer Gavin, and aggressively drop the boring, settled couples to maintain the messy energy that viewers expect and demand.
It's ruthless, but it's the nature of the beast. If you aren't providing drama, your spot on the roster is in jeopardy.
Okay, we have talked through the whole episode, but I want to play a game with you. We are going to do some rapid-fire segments.
I'm ready.
Segment 1, best final moment. Choose your favorite scene from the finale and tell me exactly why it stood out to you.
Okay, my best final moment is actually the shot of Kyle and Amanda driving away from the Connecticut house in separate cars. It was so stark. No music, just the sound of the tires on the gravel.
It was chilling.
It felt like a truly authentic, unproduced moment of grief. It wasn't about shouting or throwing drinks. It was just the quiet realization that a marriage was over. It was haunting. Oh, that's dark. But you're right, it was cinematic. My best final moment was the absolute delusion of Amanda suggesting the double date with West and Salley. I will never get over it. The audacity. The sheer nerve. It is the kind of reality TV gold that you cannot script. I will be thinking about it for years.
Okay, segment 2. What happens next? Let's predict where every major character goes after this finale. Let's start with Lindsay.
Lindsay is absolutely going to go on a PR tour. She's going to lean into the single mom brand hard. She will probably get a podcast. She will definitely launch a brand deal with a baby stroller company.
Yeah.
And she will be the unquestioned queen bee next season.
I agree, but I think the audience is going to turn on her. The mom card trick only works for so long before people get exhausted by the entitlement. What about Gavin?
Gavin is going to spiral. Without Kenny as his anchor, he's going to stir the pot too hard next season and alienate the entire cast. He's going to fly too close to the sun.
I actually disagree. I think Gavin is going to form a strategic alliance with Lindsay. He knows she has the power and he wants to be protected. Okay, what about Kyle and Amanda?
Kyle's going to ride this lover boy sympathy wave all the way to the bank. He is going to be the sad, rich bachelor.
Yeah.
And Amanda, I think Amanda's going to fade out.
Yeah.
If she and Wes don't work out, she has burned too many bridges with the core cast to survive another season.
I think you are spot on about Amanda. Which brings us to segment 3. If we were writing season 2, what is the one storyline you would absolutely pitch to the producers right now?
Oh, this is easy. My pitch for season 2 is that we bring back Salley Carson as a full-time cast member.
Oh, you were evil.
We force Amanda to film scenes with her. The tension would be unbearable. We need to see the fallout of this Amanda situation up close and personal, not just through black title cards.
That is vicious, and I love it. My pitch for season 2 is that we lean into the chaos of Kenny and Whitney's Peruvian shaman marriage. I want to see them try to navigate the legalities of it.
Yes.
I want a whole storyline where they have to decide if they want a real wedding or if they are just going to honor the Pachamama ceremony. It brings levity, it brings absurdity, and it's a great counterbalance to the heavy divorce drama.
Honestly, a shaman wedding vow renewal would be incredible television.
Oh.
Okay, final segment. Final ratings. We have to score this finale out of 10 based on story, trauma, characters, ending, and rewatch value. I'll start.
Let's hear it.
For story, I give it an 8. The parallel tracks of the mom fight and the dog fight were great. For drama, an easy 10. The Amanda and Kyle sit down was peak television. Characters, a 7. Some people were definitely fading into the background. Ending, a 9. Those updates were shocking. And rewatch value, an 8. So overall, I am giving this finale an 8.5 out of 10. It delivered.
I'm going to be a bit harsher. Story, I give a 7. The Connecticut trip felt a little contrived. Drama, a 9, purely for the time jumps. Characters, a 6. I think the cast is too bloated with settled couples right now.
Fair point.
Ending, an 8. The NICU update was genuinely moving. Rewatch value, a 6. Once you know the twists, it loses some punch. I give it a solid 7.2 out of 10. Good, but it needs a shakeup to be great.
We will see if Bravo agrees with us. And speaking of shakeups, it leaves you wondering, as these casts age out of chaos, are we going to see networks start writing ironclad chaos clauses into these contracts?
A chaos clause! I love that.
Will future reality stars be financially penalized by producers for going to bed early, having healthy marriages, and refusing to throw drinks? Think about it. If you don't perform the mess, do you get your paycheck cut? Something to think about the next time you watch a 40-year-old pretend to enjoy a tequila shot.
I guarantee you the lawyers are already drafting them.
They absolutely are. Snark Squad, we want to hear from you. Get in our comments, DM us, let us know your thoughts. What is the most outrageous thing you've ever paid for at an airport? Is it worse than a $9 water? What is your absolute favorite post-vacation recovery ritual? And most importantly, did this finale stick the landing for you, or are you ready for a completely new cast?
We need your takes. And if you enjoyed spiraling with us today, make sure you subscribe, leave us a 5-star review because anything less is just rude, and share the podcast with another messy babe in your life.
We love you guys so much. Stay fabulous, stay chaotic. We'll see you on the snark side.